Hi everyone, welcome to TBR Solutions. We are talking two-port system. You must be knowing by now that the Big R Solution is a financial company, and then we always discuss finance on this program of ours. So let me just say to you, today we want to talk about two-port system because we are not far away from two-port system. My name is the Sobre Boys Wale Fatsi, and then people are worried what's going to happen. People want to know more about two-port system. Now, let's indicate. Firstly, as I indicate that I'm from TBR, which stands for the Big R Solutions. The Big R Solution is nothing else but all those positive and beautiful words that starts with the letter R in English, words such as relationship, responsibility, resilience, review, reflect, you name them, okay? Renaissance, all those positive R words. So now we say if you want to resolve your financial issues, if you apply those words, you'll be able to resolve your problem by doing research, reading, and evaluate the results, and then review and reflect. Now, why two-port system? Two-port system was brought into being because of the lack of preservation in our country when it comes to savings. The saving culture in our country, it's not good at all. And then the other issue is people would complain about wanting to access their pension so that they can address their financial woes. But fortunately enough, me being a financial advisor, also a debt counselor, I meet this thing all the time. People say we want to access our pension so that we can deal with our emergencies. Let's say, for instance, a person has a car breakdown and then he wants to address it. So that was the purpose of the two-port system. Now, as you can see here, although in essence it's not about two ports, I think there are a lot of components inside there. One of the component is the vested component, whereby the pension is there for the people who are working for the government employees who are members of GPF. So the two component is a retirement component and also the savings component. Now, under retirement component, you don't have access to the money that is there, all right? You don't have access at all. And then the 100% of that money need to be annuitized. It needs to go for annuity, which simply means the money will be used to get your monthly annuity income every month. Okay? And then, so there's no way you can have access to that money. But there's also a principle called a de minimis principle that applies in retirement. But when you go to the savings pot, remember I said two-pot system. The first one is retirement. The second one is the savings. Here is the money that you are going to save. Now, the principle that they have established is you'll save one third of the money that goes to your pension. Let's say, for argument's sake, 3,000 goes to your pension. 1,000 will be taken to the savings pot. Then the 2,000 will go for retirement. So now the 1,000 or the one third, the one that is in the two pot, you have access to it. You can access the entire 100% of that money. All right. And then, but you cannot exceed 30,000. I'll explain a little bit later. And you are allowed to access that money once a year, not at all times. Okay. So now that's very important. But now you need to understand the implication. Now let's understand the most important thing that people need to understand is the taxation. Tax is the biggest expense and tax affect us as individuals, tax affect businesses. Now, your strategy as a person or a business, you need to have a way. How do you avoid taxation? Because remember, there are two terminologies. There is tax avoidance and tax evasion. Tax evasion is illegal. If you do tax evasion, you'll be arrested. But tax avoidance, you'll never be arrested because you'll use the legal route or the law to avoid paying tax. So now, the more you take, the chances are the taxation implication will be huge. All right. So now let's go further. As I indicated that as from the 1st of September, which is few days from now on, the two-pot system is going to apply. Now you ask yourself, what's going to happen to those people who have been working for government for the past 30 years or so, and they have more money into their vested pot or retirement? What's going to happen? Those people, they will seed money, all right? The money will be seeded. Now, as I indicated earlier on, that the one-third will be taken to your savings, the two-third will go to your retirement. Now, let's say a person has about 5 million or 6 million. And then if a person has about 5 million or 6 million, the 10% of the 5 million is 50,000, it's 500,000, okay? Or the 10% of the 6 million, it's about 600,000. So, but they don't see the entire 600,000, they seed 30,000. The principles say the lower of 10% to the minimum of 30,000. In other words, anyone that is lower, if the man does need to be seeded is 30,000, they'll seed that. If the money that is lower is 10%, let's say for argument's sake, you have 100,000 in your pension, the 10% is 10,000. They will seed that 10%, 10,000. Now, this is the principle that I was talking about. The lower of 10% to 30,000. That's a once-off activity. Now, what about a situation whereby a person has about three retirement investment? Let's say number one, as you see, Agra 1, the person has about 2 million in the retirement. Agra 2, the person has a 500,000. Agra 3, the person has about 100,000. All in all, if you put this amount together, it becomes 2.6 million. Now you ask yourself, how does that come into being? Let's say you're working for the government. Your pension is this amount. And then it happened also that you have a retirement annuity with another company is 500,000 and another one 100,000. So what they are going to do, they are going to seed 30,000 of this amount, as you can see this side. Now, once they've seeded 30,000, the first retirement will be left with 1.9 million 70,000. Then here, 30,000 again, Agra 2. Then it comes this side, the amount left will be 470,000. Okay. Then this one, Agra 3, then the person will, they are going to seed about 10,000, which is 10%. Remember, we said the lower of 10% to the maximum of 30,000. Now you have about 30,000, 30,000 plus 10,000. So in other words, this person will be able to have an access of 70,000. So in the past, there was a bit of confusion whether you'll have an access of 30,000 or more. If you have in this situation, in this example, this person can access the entire 70,000. So that's the principle that you need to understand. Then there is also a principle called de minimis. Okay? De minimis simply means this amount, 165,000. All right? It's a de minimis. Okay? Let's say for argument's sake, currently, the denominus is 247,500. That's the amount. This simply means that your money is at this level, 247,500. And then you want to access your money, that's the money that is in your pension. You would be allowed to take the entire amount. But because of the two-pot system kicking in on the 1st of September, that money has been reduced now to 165,000. Now, if it happened that in your pension you have 165, you'll be allowed to take the entire amount, all right, from your savings pot. In other words, all the money, all right, and the tax principle will apply according to the tax table. But remember, we said the principle is the money that is in the retirement, you cannot access it. That money should go so that annuity can apply, so that every month you can earn an annuity once you have retired. All right, and then you cannot touch that one, but you can touch the money that is in the savings. It doesn't matter how much, as long as you meet the principle of once a year, it's above 2,000, and then you have accumulated, like I was giving you that example of 70,000. You can access the entire 70,000. Now, let's explain and make denominus symbol below. This table explains the denominus. All right. Let's say the vested pot has 90,000. And then we said that's the money that you should, that money you can be able to, the denominus will apply. So what's going to happen? They are going to say if it's 90,000, remember 1/3 should go to the savings, the 2/3 should go for annuity, so that when you retire, you can earn every month. Now, how is the principle going to apply? It's going to say 90,000 times 2/3. Now, let's calculate 90 times 2/3, it's 60,000. So in other words, the 60,000, the 60,000 is set us out. Then the retirement, remember we said all the money that is in the retirement, it must go to for annuity. So that one you cannot, no, you cannot touch it, all right, in the money in retirement. So if you have 20,000, the entire 20,000 will come here, all right? And then savings, there is no way, savings, let's say, is the money that you can access all the time. Maybe there's no money. So according to this principle, this was to help you to understand the denominus, okay? It's 80,000, so you can access that 80,000 if you want. Now let's look at the text, because text is very important. You need to understand this. Let me just indicate to you that I'm currently talking to an accountant who can explain this table much better, because that is their competency, so that you're able to understand what are the explanation. So next time on our YouTube channel, you'll be having that video explaining that. Now, if let's say you retire, you don't retire, you are not yet 55, and you want to access the money, you resign. According to the tax table, any money between 0 to 27,500, it is not tax, it's tax-free. If your money is equivalent to 27,500, it's tax-free, you'll get it all. And any amount between 27,501 to 726, that amount will be taxed at 18% of the taxable income above 27,500. What does that mean? Can you see here? Any amount above that. Let's say this 227,501, and then you have 27,502. So in other words, the money above 2,000, 2,000, I mean, the money above 27,500 is only 2 rand. So that 2 rand will be taxed at 18%. So I'm just trying to explain it. That's the taxable income, all right? And then when you just withdraw the money. So those are the implications when you resign. And then because you'll be taxed at a maximum. But let's say you happen to be at retirement now. The benefits when you retire, when you leave, when you are at the retirement age, this is what is going to happen. The money below, the money between zero, all right, to 550,000 is tax free. So in other words, if you get any money, the first 550,000 is tax free. That's your benefit, all right? Then any amount above 550,000 and 1 rand, it will be taxed at 18%. So you need to understand that one. Okay, that's very important. So that's why people need to be made aware, because remember, I'm saying the more you take, the more you are increasing the chances of being tax heavy. Now let's go and give an example. Remember we said the minimum amount, if I am to use this example, that you can access depending on how many retirement you have. Let's say it's one, it's 30,000. Let's say you take that 30,000 for the next 10 years. You take that 30,000 for the next 10 years, it will accumulate to 300,000. Then you go to retirement. When you go to retirement, instead of benefiting 550,000, it will be 550,000 minus 300,000. So in other words, your tax-free money will be 250. So those are the implications of the taxation. So you need to bear that in mind. All right. And then, but if you leave earlier or you continue to take more, be careful, because that may have a huge impact on the income that you are going to get. Now, um, if you transfer your pension, let's say from GPF to Allen Gray, like us, we are working with Allen Gray, and then that process, there's no taxation. It's a nil tax. You cannot be taxed. If the money is transferring from one component to another component, like I was talking about, the money being seeded from the vested pot to your savings, there is no taxation. So it's a nil taxation. So those are the same thing that you need to take into consideration at all times. The two-pot system is as simple as that. And then the fees for the advisors, for the companies, they'll remain the same. Nothing is going to change. So yours, as you continue, I know people are excited, are looking forward to make sure that no, when a two-pot systems comes, they want to go there and make sure that they get the money. So no, you're allowed. You can go and get it. It's your money. No one can stop you to do that. But you need to be very careful. Look at the tax implication, because the tax implications are huge. If there are any questions and then you want us to answer, you can consult your accountant and verify with your accountant, or you can ask GPF for further clarity. So yeah, you can do that. So we're just trying to explain the two-pot system for you to be able to understand how to go about it. I think. Greetings, everyone. I'm sure by now you know that TBR, which stands for the Big R Solutions. What is the Big R? The Big R are all those positive English words that starts with the letter R, but only those words that are positive, okay? Such as reading, research, responsibility, resilience, relationship, you name them, reflect and review. So We are a company that is focusing largely on money. We do sports at some point because sports is very important. It's there in our lives on daily basis. There's a lot of money that is taking place in sport. But now let me give you a very important information. We are helping all those GPF members who are 55 years and above. Some of them they want to leave, but they are worried that because they are less than 60, they will be penalized. Of course, if you leave before the age of 60, which is the pension age with GPF, you will be penalized. But there is a way to avoid that without being penalized, not even a cent, even capitalizing on the taxation. All right. If you want to know more about such, just give us a call or drop us a WhatsApp. We'll definitely come back to you. A WhatsApp number, it's very simple. It's 060 936 7560. 060 936 7560. And you know what is beautiful? When you go on pension, you'll have the most important commodity, which is the time. All right. And when you have time, I always tell people that when you talk about money, you need to understand what's happening. If you don't know what is happening about money, you will therefore lose a lot of money. Currently, people are talking about two-pot system, which is about to kick in very soon. If you go to our YouTube channel, which is the big app, and then you'll see that we have done a video on two-pot system. Learn about two-pot system. We'll be bringing more information around the issue of two-pot system, the tax implication around the two-pot system. So you can just subscribe to our channel, and then as we post a new video, then you'll get a notification. Tomorrow at 7, we'll be posting the video that we posted so that you learn about the two-pot system. While we are still there, as I said, you have the best commodity at your disposal, which is time. The most important thing that you need to do, you need to learn about money. Now, as TBR Solution, we have written books that teaches about money. One of the book is How I Turn 500 Rand into a 1 million Rand business. You can do the same. No one is bad. You can do the same. We are all capable of doing what other people have done, just like us. And then there's also another book written by a friend of mine, Nom Samarsboer, an entrepreneur, the lady who runs number of guest houses. Currently, she's got more than 100 rooms for the guest house. And his guest house, when I'm in Pumalanga, Emalahleni, that's the guest house that I go and sleep at. It's called Entrepreneur Awakening with Drive. So you can buy that book from us and learn as much as you want. And then the other book that I wrote is called How to Get Out of Bad Debt. All right. How to get out of bad debt, use other people's money and resources to get rich. So it's a skill that you have to do. Read there and you'll see how to do it. And then and that book will also show you how to pay your debts quicker by simply adding extra 100 Rand. If you want to know how to do it, just read those books. And the other book that I wrote is called Secrets for Becoming Rich, was my first book, and this is a second edition of the book. It's called Secrets for Becoming Rich. As you can see, it's myself and my wife here, and then who has always been there with me at all times. So those are some of the books that you can get. And also, there is a book by a friend of mine, Dr. Darlene Smith. Darlene Small, I don't know why do I say Smith. Darlene Small, a former Reserve Bank economist. She's an economist by profession. She wrote this book, How to Win the Wealth Game, The Art of Money. The Art of, you want to learn more about those books and how to get them, just give us a WhatsApp. We'll therefore come back to you. As I indicated, our WhatsApp number is very simple, 060 936 7560. 060 936 7560. There's a whole lot of things that we can help you about. Even those people who are under debt review, who were tricked to be under debt review. They were told lies that no, it's debt consolidation. You pay one debt and then we give you the money, which is a false narrative. And then people end up being under debt review. And remember, when you're under debt review, you cannot be able to take another debt. So people's life come to a standstill. So if you want to learn more about those things, just drop us a WhatsApp. There's quite a lot that you can learn from us. Thank you so much. I thank you.